So, to what extent would you go to get out of a bad relationship?
Wait till you hear what this guy did.
Next on Men Are So Smart. Hello, honey? Yeah. I got to stop on the way home and get a loaf of bread and a newspaper. Yeah, I should be home right after that. Or 10 years. So, have you heard this story yet? Malcolm Applegate, that's a great name.
That's a good name.
Left his controlling wife and hid in the woods for years before finally letting friends and family know he was alive after a decade.
That seems long enough.
Boy, it took him a long time to read that newspaper.
He left his wife for the woods one day without telling anyone. It lived there for 5 years, staying hidden for a total of 10 years.
So Applegate says, I camped in thick woodland near Kingston and made that home for 5 years while maintaining the gardens at a local community center for the elderly.
Oh.
Gardening is what started the problem in his marriage. He says his, wow, really?
That happens a lot.
Gardening? Was it lawn furniture or a gnome?
That's pretty common, I think, in marriage counseling.
Yeah, I'm sure. And they probably have a 12-step plan for that.
Yeah.
He says his wife didn't want him working so many hours, and she'd get upset over any time he spent outside the house.
The controlling behavior started to get out of hand when she demanded that I cut my hours. After a long time trying to stay in the marriage, I decided to leave for good, says Applegate.
He set out from Birmingham, UK, to London by bicycle and later on foot after his bike was stolen. Wow, this story just gets better and better.
Sounds a little bit like Citrus Heights.
The journey took nearly 3 weeks.
Oh my gosh. Eventually he moved into a South London homeless shelter where he works odd jobs and raises money for the homeless in his spare time. Well, nice. My day-to-day involves working in the shop or driving the vans. I'm not fussy about what jobs are given to me as long as I'm working, says Applegate.
Family and friends had no idea what had happened to him until he finally broke his silence to his sister. It had been a decade since he'd seen her, and in that time, she had been to all the Salvation Army hostels in the South trying to find him. I think she assumed I was dead.
I think that's reasonable.
Yeah. What were you expecting people were going to think?
Yeah.
I wrote her a letter once I settled in Greenwich, and she phoned me up in a flood of tears. We now have a great relationship again, but there's no word about Applegate's wife.
I haven't spoken to my wife in 10 years.
Really?
Yeah, she hates to be interrupted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, he took this Operation Avoid to a whole new level, like Hall of Fame level.
Seriously, that is the next level. Yeah, so I've been married for over 30 years, and on the day we got married, took her to Hawaii.
Really?
Finally, I think I'm going to go pick her up.
Oh, well, maybe it's time.
Yeah.
You know, my pappy used to say that a man is incomplete until he's married, and then he's finished.
Kaput. Done. Yeah. Well, sir, Applegate, Mr. Applegate, you are an inspiration. Life is short. Live the one that makes you happy.
All right, I got a little story I want to tell you. Can I tell you a little story? I want to tell you a little story. Can I tell you a little story? Okay, good.
We got time.
Farmer Frank had a nagging wife who made his life miserable. The only real peace that he got was when he was out in the field plowing. One day when he was out in the field, Frank's wife brought his lunch to him. Then she stayed while he quietly ate and berated him with a constant stream of nagging and complaining. Suddenly, Frank's old mule kicked up his back legs, striking the wife in the head and killing her instantly.
Oh my God.
This is terrible. At the wake, Frank's minister noticed that when the women offered their sympathy to Frank, he would just nod his head up and down. But when the men came up and spoke quietly to him, he would shake his head from side to side. When the wake was over and all the mourners had left, the minister approached Frank and asked, "Why was it that you nodded your head up and down to all the women, yet shook your head from side to side to all the men. Frank replied, the woman all said how nice she looked, and her dress was so pretty, so I agreed by nodding my head up and down. The men all asked, is that mule for sale?
Sorry, that's a special mule right there.
All right, this has been a short and sweet episode of Men Are So Smart. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed and got a laugh, click that little thumbs up button right there and give us a like. We'd appreciate it. Also, in just a moment or two, a button will pop up on the screen that will allow you to become a subscriber to our channel. We thank all of our subscribers, and especially folks like Joe England and Daryl England, and you know who else? Master Joe 3000.
Oh, I've seen him. I see him on Facebook.
Master Joe, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All early subscribers of the program. I think Master Joe might even be #1. And we'd love to have you as a subscriber as well. It's very easy to do. It doesn't cost you a cent yet.
Not yet.
Just kidding. And you'll also get notifications when a new show is up online, which is weekdays at 3 p.m. on YouTube. All right. Below, you'll find all of our contacts for email and all of our social media as well. Also, thanks to our sponsors. And I think that about does it for us.
That's good.
We'll see you next time on Men Are So Smart.
Let's go to mule.